Hi, how are we doing? I hope you're doing really well wherever you are. Today I'm bringing you a channeling about the world economy. Now, this is through one of my guys who's on the Council of 12, and that is Saint Germain. Saint Germain is very, very good, particularly with American economy, world events to do with politics, anything that's kind of a three-dimensional ruling body, governing body type of situation. And I'm always bouncing up between my Council of 12 and Source Energy, Creator, God, whatever you want to call it. And I've asked some very, very specific questions. So bear with me while I make sense of them, because I've literally scrawled them down. So hopefully I can read my own writing. Always happens. And the thing is, I refuse to do it on a laptop. I'm really comfortable handwriting it because I get a real sense of feeling about what I'm writing as I'm channeling. So here we go. I asked the question, where are we at as of today with the economy collapsing? So we're hearing lots of news about the economy is going to collapse, stock markets can't sustain their upward trend because they're just going up, and there might be a blip and they're back up again. What is actually happening? Okay, so Saint Germain said the powers behind the whole monetary system are driving the value of money up in panic. He said they are holding on for dear life to sustain a broken system. This system is the fiat currency, paper money as we know it. So I'm only relating to paper money here, okay? Not Bitcoin, not the other stuff, it's just paper money. And he said that it started with the people's money and it's ended up by the ruling body, governments, banks, institutions taking the people's money to take away their power, okay? When I asked about is it going to collapse and is it still, he said they're fighting. That literally it needs to collapse to have a reset, okay? And that's for the good, by the way. It needs to collapse. I originally had it for the end of September, beginning of October. This is, if you're watching this, hopefully you're watching it in sync. This is 2022. He's now saying that it's likely in November, okay? Now, the thing is, we hear things, we intuitive psychics, channelers hear things in a really big level. We have to ground them down into reality. And what is impossible to read for some of us is there are several dimensions at play here at the moment. If we consider 3D, 4D, 5D, the human realm, the opposing sides, the galactics, the benevolent beings, God, the angelics, all of the other forces helping us on this planet, okay? So imagine how many timelines we're working between and through. So predictability isn't always spot on, right? That's why people like Nostradamus, other famous people that are intuitives, have prophecies, that prophesize these things, it doesn't always happen because we're reading for a narrow vantage of the timelines, and these they're moving radically up, down, left, right and center all the time. So currently, as of today, which is the 26th, I think, of October, I am hearing potentially in November we will see a loss, okay? Now, Saint Germain was saying that they are literally fighting. So there's a battle of up and down, up and down. They're trying to drive money up because they've been printing money for so long. It needs to crash to have a reset for the greater good. Meanwhile, you know, there are other forces at play that aren't, that are very, very difficult to pinpoint in this as well, okay? So when I said to him, who are they? Who are they? Who are they that are driving, you know, the monetary system up? And he said, there are three families / groups of people that run the economy. And I said, are they the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers? And he said, they are merely the puppets. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are merely the puppets. You may never find out who they are, and they're not public. They're not in the public eye. We don't put a name to them. Now, at this point, I want to ask, are they even of a human incarnation? And I'm hearing no. Okay, so that could be a reptilian form, that could be another incarnation. Most of us here in the world, by the way, 25% of the population is native to the earth. Everyone else is an alien. we didn't originate from earth. There's lots and lots of different types of hybrid people currently living on earth, okay? So when you're talking about, reptilians, draconians, whatever you're talking about, just to let you know that there's been a hybrid people operating on this planet for a very long time, okay? So three families / group of people that run the economy at the very top, and you won't see them physically. It was really important when he said that. So I said, what will happen to people's money? So Saint Germain said the currency will change. He said wealth will be equalized within a margin of 50%. Now, what that means from the richest to the poorest is only 50% difference. It's less vast to people who are in starvation and people who are billionaires, trillionaires, millionaires. He said the margin is 50%, which is going to be much, much lower. So the poorest to the richest is only a 50% difference. Not as vast as it is now, okay? He said the class system will narrow as well. That will really, really change. There will be no extreme rich or poor, okay? Everyone will be in this band, and it's for a reason. Now, I'm going to ask the question right now because I can hear the feedback. Why is there still a class system? Why isn't everyone on the same plane? And he's right here, and he's saying people still need to understand that money is a frequency. They're still in the process of lack. Now, when you narrow the class system and narrow the margin and it comes tighter, there's more opportunity to learn the value of money, the frequency of money, and how money works, okay? Because it's so vast, it's incomprehensible. So there's feast and famine, rich and poor, there's all of that. So when you squish it down and it becomes a concentrated, smaller class system, there's people that struggle with lack and money and worth and self-worth and their earning capacity and all of those things. It kind of levels out. That's the reason, okay? So narrower class system, no extreme rich or poor. And I said, so people have got dollars, they've got sterling, they've got euros, they've got whatever, whatever is your currency. How does that work? What's going to happen? Now, I've always heard that it's going to be a hybrid currency. Always heard that it's going to be a hybrid currency. Not just one, there'll be several hybrid currencies, meaning there's the main currency and there will still be different coins. Now, personally, I have been blocked every time I've tried to go and invest it in a coin somewhere or a crypto. I've been blocked because I've been told not to invest yet. There's a new investment coming that is clean 5D money. So if you currently think that you are investing in clean 5D money, I'm hearing it, that's not the whole truth. There may be an element of that, but it's not the whole truth because it's not cleaned in the system, if that makes sense, okay? No matter how high vibe you think you are and you're handling crypto or Bitcoin or whatever passes through you, if it's been imprinted through negative energies, you can't continually try to clear that. It's the same as paper money when you get it. That's why it's an important thing that anything that passes through your bank account, that you bless it, you thank it, you clear it, you have an intention for what you want it to do, and regularly check it. I go into my bank account every single day and I do that. So do that. Keep the vibe high in your bank account, okay? Right, so hybrid currencies. And the currencies will be translated in time, meaning there will be a currency conversion, right? Because I think the thing that I was really concerned about is what if people have a lot of money? Are they going to lose their money? And I heard, yes, they will to a certain degree, but they won't lose all of it, okay? There's something that Saint Germain kept saying, which I'm going to refer to in a moment, okay? So again, in the short term, will there be a crash? It's been predicted for some time. So what's happening? So the opposing sides, are trying to stave off the crash. It will happen. It is imminent as world currencies and economies teeter on the edge, because they've been maxed out. They can't be maxed out anymore, okay? It's a fallacy. It's not real. It's not the truth. It's made up. It's an illusion. So everything's teetering on the edge. It's just ready to get into that tipping point. It's timed just before a natural disaster, okay? Now, in my other channelings on TikTok, if you follow me on TikTok, I'm a bit more sensationalized on there. I've also predicted a natural disaster coming, okay? Now, I heard that the crash will happen, then the natural disaster will happen. And I said, he said, it will affect everyone, but everyone will not be affected. And when I said, well, what does that mean? He said, everyone will be affected by sight, feeling, or emotion, but not everyone will be physically affected. It's one of those events when you're going, oh my gosh, what happened? Think 9/11, think JFK being shot, think the Queen passing, that kind of major event. You kind of know where you were when that thing happened, okay? And I asked, will money be negated at any point? And he said, the world has a dependency on money. It needs something to transact and trade. It's not of the free trade, free energetic exchange level yet. There are many, many decades before that system is born out, before it's out, because we've been conditioned for so long, and it's something that we've survived on for a very, very long time. So it's going to take a lot of time before that system is null and void, okay? So just as you see various types of currencies, there will be various types of money. And I said, will it all be digital? And he was adamant about this. He said, no, there will be other ways to trade. Physical coin may stay in some form. And when I channeled that, I saw the gold coin. I saw a gold coin, and that's how we were going to trade, right? So that was the physical manifestation of a coin. Other ways to trade, he was also very adamant that when we have a hybrid currency, we will also have hybrid trading. It will become the norm to trade services for each other, right? So we're going back to the old ways. If I give you some bread, can you come and fix my horse's shoes, right? I bake you bread every day and come and do my horse's shoes, that kind of stuff. Like, think old school. There's going to be an element of that comes back, because that's the true energy of exchange when you remove money, okay? But money still has a place for a few more decades, okay? So I asked, what of the stock market? He said the stock market always has and will be an illusion, okay? The investments made will equalize into a new system. Now note, he's going to use the word equalize several times. Equalize meaning it will even out. Remember the narrowing of the gap between the richest and the poorest, it will equal out. So when he says it's been an illusion, it's not an illusion that some people have made money. It's an illusion that you're not trading reality. Money is an illusion, okay? When you think about how much money is actually out there, it's a whole different thing. We've heard lots of stories about if you put in £100,000 into a bank account, a bank can leverage that 9 times, okay? So they can lend up to 9 times worth your money. So there's a lot of illusionary trading going on at the moment, okay? And that has fueled our desire as humans to stay in a system where we are dependent on money, where we're trading time for money, where we're in a slave system where we continue to be in that, okay? It is modern day state slavery, especially if you are paying tax on every single thing, okay? Now, I asked him when this will happen. He said, as money and coins find their place, the new formation will enter into existence by 2024, okay? So we're in a process of dismantling and rebuilding. So between now and 2024, I said by 2025, the start of 2025, all of this will be over. All of this pushing and shoving with the government, trying to contain us, take our freedoms, it will start changing, and it's going to be radically different. So 2025 to 2030 is a phase of rebuilding, okay? 2030, I do have another major event, but I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, so is our money safe in the short term? This is what I was asking. Again, he said safe is subjective. Because you have a number does not mean you have that number. Okay, if it creates safety for you to have that number, so it will. Okay, it's not real, it's fiction if you're in the system. That's not helpful for everyday using your money, I understand. But what he's saying right now is learn to have detachment from money. Yes, it pays for the things like the roof over your head, for food and things like that. But what he's saying is your relationship with money is a thing that needs changing. How you benefit from money has to be more in purpose, more in passion, more for the right things, more aligned, okay? And therefore the money arrives. It's one of these things that you're like, yeah, but that's all well and good, but how do we do it practically? I understand that, but it's a mindset shift in what you do. It's a perception, okay? To know that it's an energetic thing that circulates every single time. Look, I know how much I need to earn every single month, right? I know how much is comfortable. I know how much is teetering on the edge. I know how much is difficult, okay? Now, what happens is if I intuitively lead from a place of, I get this download that I should be doing this, I go and do it. Does it feel good to me? Yes, it does. When I'm in that purpose and passion, the money does arrive. It just comes in every single time. I don't have a worry about that. I've already intentionalized, set the intentions and the energy on my bank accounts. So it always comes in. So every time I get a notification that I've earned money, it's always thank you, thank you, thank you, right? I acknowledge it. I do not have attachment to it. And it keeps on coming in. So what he says about that, if it creates safety for you to have that number, so it will. So if your levels of safety is dependent on money, then it will be, okay? If you create the safety in your body from the perspective of what creates the anxiety in me, what makes me feel unsafe, what are the traumas I need to address, and you become safe in yourself, you're part of that vibration that is taken care of, okay? The vibratory frequency where people are taken care of. I always know when things are really right, because I either get the shivers, I get all the shivers, some of you might feel this if you're channeling, or you get a sense of something's right, or in my room, my voice echoes. It echoes, it's like it's echoing out to the universe. It's very interesting. Okay, okay, we need it to pay for living. So what's going to happen in that instance? He said for a short while until it transfers to equal wealth, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. He said, I understand that this concept is difficult for humans to comprehend and it will not make sense. Your fear over losing the money you have gained over time, savings, investments, that kind of stuff, is fictional. Okay, so he goes back to fictional. It's how much dependency do you have on that? How much of your existence is dependent upon that? Okay, take away necessaries, take away the roof over your head, take away the bills, that kind of stuff. But how much of your dependency to have the latest car, the latest watch, the latest clothes, of going to the latest places, how much of your identity is built on money? That's what he's saying right now, okay? That's not real. That's what he's asking you to get real with, okay? Whether it is there or not makes no difference. Your job is to view abundance as a whole, and that's what he's coming back to, okay? See this, the whole world, your whole country cannot just stop using cash or money because of a crash or a change in economy. It can't just stop, right? There's a transitionary period which allows for your adjustment. It will be a shock. Now, if any of you have lived a grand old age, I'm 52, I've seen recessions, I've seen crashes, I've seen so many of these go on. I've seen wars, I've seen famine, I've seen lots and lots of things. It's very easy to forget that. But what I want you to know is if you've seen it once and you've dealt with it once, you can deal with it again, all right? When it's your own situation, your own money, yes, it's a fearful situation, but I'm going to keep on saying this. remember the pandemic. Remember your resilience through the pandemic. Remember how you coped through lockdown, the confusion, the inconsistency, the lies, the truths that you experienced about the situation yourself. Note that. You're going to need that same sort of discernment, resilience, truth-seeking, heart-centered truth-seeking when this stuff happens over the next couple of years, okay? And I have to say, yes, people fearmonger. And, you know, I'm always saying to people, be aware of X, Y, Z, okay? Doesn't mean you have to be fully bought into it. It means have an awareness of it, be in observation of it, act accordingly to what feels good to you. This is super important. Just because someone says it doesn't mean you need to follow it. If someone says it, check in with yourself from a grounded perspective, not one of disconnection, I'm going to go party, I'm going to be drinking, I'm not doing a daily spiritual practice or even a self-connection practice, but yeah, I'm just going to see if I can find the truth. That's not always the truth. Get in yourself and really do some grounding practices, create peace and space in your mind, and then find your truth, right? It comes from a place of detachment. And if you are in any of those spaces where you're checking out or you don't want to do life properly, that's not the place of truth, okay? All right. They say it will be a switchover. It won't. So if you hear that it will just switch over, it won't. There's a transitionary period that allows you the grace to comprehend mentally, okay? It will be gradual, and you will have to invest in the Earth's natural resources of minerals. I've been talking for a very long time about gold, about silver, about the copper, about the natural minerals, okay? If you're going to put your money anywhere, go for that. I will also add to that coffee, sugar, okay? Sugar is one of the most profitable commodities. Coffee is another one. Just look at what's around you. Look at how many things contain sugar. Look at how many coffee shops have popped up. Look how our world revolves around the coffee industry, okay? There'll be other commodities too. If you want to know what's personal to you, you can always reach out to me, okay? Right, what else did I need to say? Okay, if you don't and keep cash, some of it will equalize, okay? So if you don't invest in minerals, natural resources, keep some cash. You're going to have some cash at hand when there's a switchover, because some people won't be able to let go of the physical money because that's all they've known, okay? But it will equalize. Again, that word, it will equalize. Whatever you have will translate into whatever is coming, okay? There might be a slight discrepancy, but in the scheme of things, when the class system narrows, it will equalize. Really important to note, okay? Right. Here we go. You keep saying equalize. What does this mean? Wealth will be equalized no matter how much or how little you have. It's also the true test of whether you will see your fellow humans as equal. The thing that's differentiated us is class and money. Okay? That creates a judgment into who you want to spend your time with, how you want to spend your time with, who's safe. The poor are not safe if you're middle class, okay? If you're upper class, the middle might not be safe, whatever it is. What it's saying is this comes back to the test of human equality, the laws of nature, where everything is equal. Whether it's a plant, an animal, or a tree, it's equal, all right? So, sorry, I just tapped the screen because my battery's almost dying. Okay, so it has to be equal. That's what we're looking for. It's a test to test humanity on humility, compassion, ultimately. Okay, I hope this has helped. I'd really love to hear your feedback. If you've got any further questions on this, please do comment and let me know. But for the moment, I hope it's given you an understanding and a bit of reassurance of where we're headed. For me personally, in the short term, I had a bit of a wobble, but when I look at the grand scheme of things and my part in it, I'm not scared, I'm not worried, and I'm not fearful about it. I know blind faith inside of me is telling we will be provided for, and I cannot explain that at the moment, but I don't need to. The how is not important. It's just knowing that it is. So I leave you with that thought, and I will see you in the next video. Lots of love.